Chan,
Look, hi. Oh yes. Hi, Jab. Let's do some.
Blue Box episode.
Yeah.
We got quite the stack of episodes this time around. We
All
go,
right. Yeah, you said three seems to be.
yeah,
All right. We
we
can
got
cover those.
episode 9 first, which is just right off the heels of like Taiki not making nationals, but Chinatsu did make nationals. So it was like kind of like a lowdown episode, kind of like seeing how Taiki reacts or how he's managing with
Mm.
that after, and also like how what's happening now that he's no longer gonna technically be chasing his goal, or like he's gonna be working on it, but not necessarily like it. His work is just gonna be for like the next year, right? And
Yeah.
so seeing as it's like about to be the new year and stuff, right, or like holiday stuff around their school, like Taiki has finals.
Yeah. He seems stressed about that.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
because he just like everybody else, like procrastinates till like the last minute to study.
Yeah,
And
that happens.
and even Hina was like in the same way. Like she was in her struggle.
Yeah. Yes. They seem to not be book smarts.
No, the only one
Our
that's
main characters.
yeah,
They seem to be on the struggling side of
the
academics.
yep,
So, but they're gonna you know go to like face it off and well pass.
yeah, they
They
have
don't have to like have to have the best grades. They just gotta pass. So, and they
exact.
will. So.
Yeah, and I mean they have Kyo. Like Kyo's the only one
And
that's
I like how they did their little study session, pretty big study session, and how Nina was. Oh, Nina can be so cute,
yep,
like in front of Hina. I'm sorry, Hina can be so cute for like with people, like in public kind of thing.
yep,
So.
yeah, and I do like that they kind of like notice also that while Taiki's kind of like struggling this, it almost seems like he's studying and work and doing all the exercises to kind of like put away the fact that he lost at nationals, kind of like not really
Hmm.
confronting that, but like just like putting it to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like in one of those practices, like Taiki and like the rest of the badminton team, they have to like put their goals on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And one of like Taiki's the one that Taiki chose was like to hit his smashes better, right? Or like more have his
Right.
smashes
To
be more
score,
precision. Yeah,
like to score
yeah,
for his matches to score. Yeah.
yeah. Which is kind of
Yeah.
what he felt he was lacking in the match he had.
Hmm.
Which is like it's kind of like a short term goal to like fix a longer term goal. I guess it's like a shorter one that he feels like it's more doable to do, as opposed to being
Hmm.
grandiose to like make nationals like he was previously like. I mean, he still wants to make it, but he's like, all right, I'm gonna hit small
Hmm.
goal first. And that's how like
Hmm.
I took it.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with that. I also feel like it's there factors that he needed to account for, that he needed to achieve before you know thinking he can achieve nationals. To me too, like, okay, I need to achieve this small goals first, and then when I am able to pull all this ones off, then it's when I can make it to nationals, or at least you know
It's like building up
yeah, exactly.
to the big
And he
goal.
figured that he needs to, like, yeah, take more like the stairs way instead of like this shooting for it.
Yes,
so
and
so yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I
it's
like that about Blue Box, especially because we do get the other girl that she is, but she's been at it for longer though.
yeah,
So you can say that she already is like it's a veteran through this like disappointments and everything. So yeah.
yeah. I mean, Chinatsu's been the one that technically motivated Taiki to start like taking more seriously like his morning exercises and practices and stuff. So,
Right.
but as the episode goes on, we see like the montages of like just training, then studying, training and studying, training and studying, and I'm like, oh, like typical. You're like, oh, he seems like he's getting overworked. Like that's kind of been like the hint that they were doing at the throughout the episode, and he does get sick.
Yeah, he does get sick.
So
Oh, poor little thing.
yeah,
And she wants to nurse him
yeah, Chinatsu like
because I don't know, because the parents weren't there. Just how convenient, right?
yeah, how convenient. The
Just,
parents have to go away right when their son is sick.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So she feels, responsible and yeah, and that it depends on her to
yeah, I mean,
to
if
take care of him. So I like that she cooks.
uh
She cooks for him. That's
puts a
that's a
little
very
puts a little ice patch on his forehead, you know.
very very feminine because we can see her. She they give us more of her tomboy,
Yeah,
you know, character. So it's
yeah, and
cool
yeah,
too.
and I like how like this wasn't just like, all right, we're gonna do the typical like it was kind of like typical like girl,
It was, especially at the end,
yeah, but
but at the same time not. And I'll get to that part. But yeah,
yeah, I think this me and you were thinking the same thing about it,
right.
which
Like damn, like no, it's just like I can't believe that she really like figures from there that she needs to draw the line, even though she's being like encouraged by her teammates,
well,
that
before,
she should consider romance, and romance is
yeah,
something that anyone will will would be open to, and she seems to not be interested in it. So
yeah, but yeah, also like I just want to say like aside from like the love aspect, this is still kind of like sports thing. So like, Shinatsu like obviously we've known she's paid attention to Taiki a lot since the beginning, right?
right, right.
And she did not fail to notice that his for his goal he did not write like going to nationals.
Hmm.
So she did ask him about it because Taiki was too scared to ask her out like he wanted to, or like to ask her what she meant when in the previous episode, right? With the what was it like the chicken or whatever? Like it was like when she like took a bite out of the chicken that Taiki gave
Hmm.
Hina, and he had been wondering about what she meant when she said those things to him. But obviously now that
Yeah, and he was gonna ask her after Nash or after the
after he made nationals, but he
yeah after him and Nash, but he didn't. Yeah.
yeah. But so she asked him, and that's when like we said we like we just said previously, like the that that guy that beat him, Yusa, whatever, right? He made him realize, like, oh, nationals is so out of reach for me. I am so out of my depth. My goals were like a
Mhm.
bit too lofty,
Mhm. A little
and
bit too realistic. Yeah.
yeah, and he's like, I need to like up my game and like other aspects before like it becomes like an actual like reality, right?
Mhm. Right.
And like Chinatsu kind of comforts him a bit, right? Because like even Chinatsu was like, yeah, the previous times I also felt like I was out of depth to like make nationals. And like she said like at one point she almost thought about giving up, which is
Mm-hmm.
and but like you know obviously she didn't give up, and then she says she wants to keep rooting for him, and like no matter like how lofty his goals are. So that was really nice for her. And of course the episode ends with Chinatsu landing on top of Taiki because he was trying to like
Yeah.
be a nice boy and clean up his dishes and failed miserably to stand up.
Yeah. Well, she was like, "Stop, stop."
Yep. And
So they fell on the bed
yep. And
and on
episode
each other. Yeah.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And episode 10 kicks off right after that, and Chinatsu just like get some rest, like you need time to like heal and stuff. And obviously she felt like a certain type of way, but obviously she did not like really show it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of like beats up Taiki a bit because he's kind of like, oh, something like that just happened to us, like, and he can't really stop thinking about it. So like,
Yeah, and she's kind of indifferent about it.
yeah, she seems kind of
Yeah,
indifferent about it. And
yeah, that does make you feel type of way.
yeah, and so he's like, okay, well, he was feeling a lot better than previously, so like he's like, okay, well, I can't just keep thinking about this all over, right? So he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and go to practice to get my mind off things. And he tries to go there, and turns out like their court is being taken by somebody else, or something. And then Haru invites him to like help them clean the pool because they were going to be able to use it afterwards.
And he's not in the mood,
He's
but
like,
as soon as she sees her,
yeah, he's like, I'm
he's
all in.
definitely in the mood. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, and I like that Haru's whole relationship with Taiki is not even just like a friend or rivalry. It's also kind of like a mentor type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
because he instantly like he tells
Right.
them like, you do realize your smash is not the only thing you have to correct, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes, he does. Yes, he tells him like that. Yep, just like that.
Yeah.
Like, if you think that's it.
But no, and then Taiki's like, yeah, like,
God.
and then he, like Taiki's still contemplating about the lines between like him and Chinatsu. Obviously, there's blurred lines everywhere because they live together and they constantly see each other, right? So he's trying to like find like a fine line that he can walk in. So he kind of asks Haru like, how do you know if somebody has feelings for you?
Mm, yeah. And he does ask him that. And he's like, well, it'll be difficult for you to know. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Kind of Haru is kind of like that.
yeah. I
Oh
mean,
man.
he doesn't have to worry about that. He has a model girlfriend. He's fine.
Hmm. But
And
he kind of does tell him how like he eventually, like you can kind of
tell.
tell, like it's
It,
just a
it's
little. If you start paying attention, you just kind of have to pay attention in a
yeah,
way. I feel like he just told him,
and
and that's
also
why like he wouldn't be able to tell because he wouldn't be paying attention to those things. But if you try to notice, you will probably tell.
yeah, and I
So.
think it was like something about like if they're not like if you're close to them, you can tell because like they will, they won't like object to you like at least like the like grabbing them or like touching them in a bit, right? Or like being friendly with them, or
Mm-hmm.
like they'll smile at you more or something like that. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, after they're like done, they're cleaning up everything, and Taiki and Chinatsu are like in the same storage place. and he can't really handle it as well. So he just starts making up some like random thing of like, oh, where does this go? And she was like, oh, it just goes over there, right? And it it's it's just like kind of funny seeing them like interact in that way. And then obviously, if as soon as she's about to leave, like Taiki just out of instinct like grabs her, like to prevent her from like going. And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry, that was kind of like a mistake, right?
The touching her again. Yeah. Kind of
Yeah,
got self conscious now
yeah.
about that.
And I think it made her like,
And then obviously she notices it, and for her that's, and with the whole friends trying to tell her like, oh, like why not? You're
perce-
friendly with a guy. Why can't it be romantic? So she's kind of smart that way. I feel like. So she's like, oh my god, if the girls are getting that, idea or impression, what impression am I giving him? Like, am I leading him on? Like, I feel like that's what her worry really is. That she's leading him on without thinking or without, subconsciously.
yeah,
And for her, that's an issue. That's the problem. That's not no, not what she wants to do. So I kind of get it, but it kind of frustrates me too, to tell you the truth. Like, I hate that she draws this line as soon as she kind of realizes that they're getting, you know, um,
closer.
that sort of closeness, that sort of
Yep.
like
Well,
relationship, or
yeah.
yeah,
I also
or
think,
being open or leaving it open, towards that,
yeah, yeah.
That
I also think it's
makes me a little
just,
frustrated.
yeah, yeah. I also think it's just the fact that she's trying to stay focused. Also, like she feels like the main reason why she's allowed to be in the in with living with the Taiki's family in the first place is because the father approved of her like staying there only for like basketball. So like I feel like
Right, right, right. She even had that kind of flashback, right, of her in the table when she thought that he wasn't gonna say no
yes,
to,
and
especially because I remember him kind of like asking her about her parents, and she's saying like something like, "Well, actually, with my dad, it's I have a hard time telling what he thinks,
yeah,
or
and
what he what
he's like it's like you kind of take after your dad, like in his head though, like he didn't tell her that,
yeah." Yeah,
but
and he's like, "Oh, okay, so you guys are really
yeah,
like he's like similar."
yeah, but uh, but yeah, no,
Because it is hard to tell with that girl.
yeah, it is,
I
but
can just imagine, like we're hearing what she's thinking, and we can barely understand her.
yeah,
Like,
and
for
like
him.
for him that has to like think it through, like at first experience, yeah, but
Hmm.
yeah, like the romance is, you can kind of see it is frustrating seeing them like like get close,
Yeah,
and then like
yeah. And
not
then
just
she
her,
pulls back.
well,
Yeah,
she
totally.
both her and him, they both kind of are doing it.
True, true. But she makes it more distinctly. She's a
Yeah,
little bit, especially when she tells him straight up.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that was, that's like leading up to that. They have a little barbecue session at the house,
Mhm.
and then they were missing some stuff. So like Chinatsu asks Taiki to like, let's go, you know let's go get the what we're missing. And they have their little ice pops, and all of a sudden, like, I guess nobody, well, all of a sudden, like, Taiki grows like a sixth sense where the car was coming to like run Shinatsu, and he's like pulls her in
Mhm.
close, and
Mhm.
they're like touching again, and it's kind of, that's when like she does pull back a bit, like, yeah, she promises not to like let anything like what happened when he was sick happen again, right? Also,
Right, right. But she apologizes, is that right? And says to forget it.
yeah,
Just tells him, just forget it. It
yeah,
wasn't anything.
yeah, and that's also kind of like where
But
he's
it's
like,
hurtful, you know,
yeah,
to
it's her.
be like I think he even said it too, like it would have been nicer to been rejected instead of like I don't know, more
Well,
like indifferent.
well, he it would have been better for him to be rejected instead of like her just still like wanting to be close, but putting a strict line between them, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of like what she ended up doing, and you know
Yep.
we're gearing up the summer vacation time. You know,
Yes.
they're finally out. They're the classmates decide to like study over the break finally for once. You know, and yeah, and that's when like I think Hina was talking to him about like Shinatsu and how things are going with them, and Taiki just kind of was like he feels like there's a line that he's not meant to cross anymore, right?
Yeah.
And we get into episode 11. Yay! Taiki and Chinatsu once again alone.
Oh, yay. We do get Hina and him though
Yeah, we do get him. We get
episode.
yeah.
So I mean, and I feel like he's seen her in different eyes you know, since
Uh,
all this development.
we
But
will
yes,
we will see.
I was a little confused in that episode. Seems like there was two festivals happening. I don't
Um.
know. I got.
Okay, so one of
I
them
guess
was
I
one
kind of
of
wanna. I kind of wanna get
well
that more straight
let's
up.
get that out of the way because there's a festival that's happening, right? And I think there was a flashback to when Taiki and Hina were both at a festival in middle school.
Ah, okay, got it. That
Yeah,
makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, because I was like, yeah, I was a little bit taken back and felt a
yeah.
little
It's
confused.
hard to tell when they do little flashbacks, but that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay, understood.
but yeah, they have the little study session like they promised during the break, and Hina's just struggling. She's just struggling,
She really is.
and good thing she's pretty though because one of the guys that has a crush on her like starts trying to like help her out, kind of like to get close to her, and you know trying to like really
And even her friends kind of, well, not her friends, like his friends, I think it was, because
yeah,
they were saying things like, oh, he's finally making his move.
yep,
Like he's been liking her forever, you know. And then, yeah, I like that he hears it, right?
yep,
And that he makes him kind of forced to see that he not like that, you know, the people, you know.
like the Hina is
Uh,
viewed in different eyes with other people. It's not just like
mhm.
how he views her, all this friendly type of thing,
Yeah.
like friendly
Yes.
friend. And I like that. Obviously, now we'll talk a little bit about the current festival, right? Um,
Hmm.
or like the past festival, because this is when like we start seeing they're talking about how they met during that festival, right? And how they had like such a weird first impression where she just like straight up slaps Taiki in the face.
Hmm.
Eh, and and obviously Hina's still like doing her gymnastics during this time, so like she's still like putting in hours, doing all her routines and stuff, making sure everything's perfect. So
Right.
when
So
she
she's late because of that,
it,
and that's why he gets her the candy apple
yeah, because he
because he
noticed.
saw that it was gonna run out.
Yeah,
That was so pikey.
yeah, it is like
Nice.
he's such a
Okay.
observant person, so
Hmm.
it was sweet of him to like do that, obviously. And I think that's like the first instance where like Hina probably felt something that she shoved
Hmm.
away until now, you know?
Right. Did she realize that maybe that's when it might have started,
Yep.
or it might have, yeah, or how it might have begun, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it just,
So,
this also just like shows that Hina really put a lot of sacrifices to right to gymnastics, where like, you know, things like this are probably gonna keep reoccurring, like, you know, her missing out on like
mm-hmm.
candy, or like, you know, even watching, we noticed it like in the previous parts right before she went to nationals, right, where she was like watching what she ate because she couldn't go over a certain calorie, otherwise her weight would be off
Yeah.
balance. So it's just
Yep.
really interesting to see like all the little details they've put into like all the sacrifices that they make, right?
Of
and
course.
and we also have Taiki once again, you know, he's practicing with his senpai and he's losing badly again, but he's impressed him enough to for Haru invites him to go practice with like college level kids, you know.
Yeah, that was so legit. Like, I was like, oh my boy, good for him.
Yep.
Like
It
that, you feel like, it's when you feel like your efforts haven't gone on waste. Like, when you get to be recognized like that.
Yeah, and I
And then
mean,
it's nicer that who he finds there, right? And gives him recognition for real. Like the what's his name? The
the
badass dude from the other school that beat them all.
uh
Him, the one that it's like the rival
yeah, the
from
rival of
yeah,
Haru, yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was there.
It was
And
so legit. Like, I liked him. Like,
yeah,
that's professionalism. Like, that's a professional.
yes,
When during battle, yeah, you have no mercy, you have no sympathy, but outside of it, it's like
a whole different, it's like, or
yeah, equals.
yeah, I
You guys
mean,
are equals.
he teaches like Taiki like a simple thing. He's like, yeah, you're too stiff. Like, loosen up your wrist when you smash when you hit it, right?
Right.
And just doing that alone like makes Taiki's like hits like much faster. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, you know, like. And I like that
Right.
it wasn't really just like, oh, you know, we're you're here, right? So we're gonna practice, but I'm not gonna talk to you. There was also like a small talk about like,
Right. Right. Like, I'm not gonna tell him the secrets. I'm not gonna. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna waste my time with you,
yeah,
kind of thing.
I think also the guy really was really impressed with Taiki because he was like, you know, I was noticing how you were hitting even during our game, right? You were still stiff then too, or like you were a lot less stiff then. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then he's like, but when you face the Yusa, which is like, you know, his protege in the other school, he's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you were a bit more stiff then, you know, like, and you were that's why you were probably always on the defensive. And he asks them like straight up, you know, like, do you think you're at your current level, you're able to hang with Haru or Yusa, or like, do you think you can beat them to hit nationals?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because those are the ones that
Asking the real questions.
yeah, and Taiki like
Right.
answers them like honestly. He's like, yeah, right now I don't feel like I'm good enough, you know.
Right.
And
Our boys are growing for real. Well,
yeah,
with a good support system, it's
yeah,
always a growth.
and I like that the guy like is giving Taiki tips not only because, you know, he likes the to have a to help him out, right, or like to help others, but like he's like, yeah, I kind of like rooting for the underdog. He's like, I don't want things to
Yeah,
be
yes, you're right. They even say that. They even show us his thoughts, and says that he has a soft spot for people that don't have the advantage but give it their best,
yep,
to kind of like take the odds or change the odds.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
It's
and
good. It's good. It's good. I really like that. I was very happy to
me
see
too.
that.
Uh,
So
yeah, and of course we get. Let's go back to the Hina and Taiki situation because
okay.
Taiki and Hina, well, Hina asked Taiki to if he wanted to go to
Oh
the
yes.
summer festival, and
Yes.
Taiki was like, yeah, sure, let's do it, and then later they
But
meet
because they
again.
always have gone in groups,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
just assumes it's gonna be in
yeah,
a group again.
yeah. So he asked
So,
her like who else is going? It's like, oh yeah, what do you mean? Her face was like, what do you mean? Who else is going? Right? you know? And he's like, we're going to group chat, and and his friend was like, when he told Kyo, his friend, with the glasses, he was like, Kyo
mhm.
instantly was like, oh, poor Hina. Like
Poor woman.
he doesn't realize
Poor woman.
that she wanted to go along with
Yeah.
them.
Right. How embarrassing. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah, but
what seems to have to happen anyways because her friend ditches him last minute, and
yeah,
and since he was already like flunking around the she was going with someone all her friends made
they made
plans
plans.
to.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and I do like that it wasn't just that he kind of like said, "Man, poor Hina." He's also kind of like, "Damn, you're so bad at telling them what you want."
right.
So it wasn't just that, like he knows what. It's so cool seeing him just be like so observant and be like, "Oh yeah, so this is." He just like instantly gets what's happening. Um,
Mm-hmm.
right now you don't know a lot about him, but once you we get more into like his side of things, you're gonna probably appreciate why he does that a lot.
Who the glasses friend or what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Of course. No, I already appreciate the dude. He's
Yes.
he's the greatest wingman for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, he is. He played wingman for Taiki, and now he's playing wingman for Hina.
Yeah, exactly. Like look at that.
Mm.
And that's, it seems like they're being a group, for a while.
Yeah, I mean since middle
Like,
school, so like they've been
yeah,
friends for quite a
for a
minute,
few years, yeah.
maybe a couple of years. Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I brought the
So
bells
that's
out, and Taiki's left alone with Hina and her kimono, right? I think that's what it is.
yes. Yes. Hina shows up with a her kimono looking gorgeous.
Yes. And this is
But
where,
Taikis is out there thinking that he's gonna run into Chizu.
yeah, I think that's what he wants to
Like,
happen. But we'll see if it.
Hina's gonna make him forget that because Hina's making her moves, and I feel like he's finally like noticing, like. Although
You think so? Because
when he
he,
was like a little bit, I feel like
I
he
mean,
doesn't like he's in denial, but I feel like his expression changed a little bit
it
when
changed.
talking to Hina
Yeah,
and when Hina's doing things like especially when he said I never seen her being like this with me, or
yeah,
talking to me like this. When they
yep,
were talking about like I don't even really remember what it was, but I like how he just took the way that she was being with him. Oh yeah, the one that I remember now. It was when they were just talking, walking, talking around the school, and they're going to walk in front of Chisuri or Chisuru.
Chinatsu,
What is her?
Chinatsu.
Yeah, Shinatsu, and he stops. He stops her and says, "No, no, 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 no. Let's not go by there." Like,
Yeah,
and then she's like, "Wow, you guys are not talking." And then he's like, "It's not really that. It's just that she wants to put our distance. So I'm just gonna kind of give up, basically, right?"
yep,
She wants distance, so I'm just gonna give up, even though it's not what I want. And then she's like, "What do you mean you're gonna give up?" Like, and what do you mean you're gonna give up and be sad about it? Like,
Yeah,
and then she gets so frustrated in a way, and she gets like, you don't do that. You're optimistic, and you don't give up, and you keep at it, and you're optimistic. Like,
that's what makes you
she's
cool.
yeah, and that's oh yeah, and that's what makes you cool. And that was the title of the episode.
Yep.
And and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
then he's like, wait, I never seen her like acting like this, like or being like this about
yeah. I mean, there's been
that. I was
a lot of changes in the
hmm
way she's been acting ever since like we noticed she started getting feelings for him.
right,
But
right.
now he's kind of like, okay, well, she's acting differently, and at times he was like, damn, you're putting, even at the time when he took care of her because of her little ankle, like he just gets her.
Like even though it's her rival, even though it doesn't even it's not even her convenience,
Yep.
like she's still, you know, she's so honest. She's such a pure little honest girl that I feel like um more important to her, of course, the fact that who he is than for who he is than having him, like
Yeah.
like
Which is
loving him for who he is than rather than having him,
yeah, and I
being able
think
to love him for who, yeah.
yeah,
So
and I was gonna say I think that's kind of hits on the point of like what her friend, the one she was talking to about like Taiki, and
hmm
how she was like the reason why he thought you were going on this in a group is because you're constantly trying to be his best friend and not his girlfriend, right?
right, exactly. And I like that the friend pointed it out for her, right? Like,
Yeah,
well, how are you approaching it? Like, are you approaching it as a friend, or are you approaching it as
yeah,
a
exactly, and
woman, basically, like, so
it's so good. Like, I
yeah, I mean, a lot of moves to put things in place and see what's going to happen from there, how it's going to shake things up, how it's going to, you know,
yeah, I mean,
um change
so
course or not. I do feel like our friend Taiki is going to start seeing Hina in a different light, and be a little bit more considerate about her feelings, or more conscious
yeah, I
about it,
mean, at one point he's gonna have to confront, or she's gonna confront him about them. I feel like,
right,
because there's no way she can keep hiding them,
right.
and then we'll see how Taiki reacts to her being
Mhm.
more open about her feelings. But yeah, until I mean, this was a great episode, great start
It was.
to the
It's a
Hina.
great series. It's a
Yeah,
great romantic series. Like I'm not really into love triangles, really. Like,
yeah,
but this is a great, like, well put, and especially it's always against the childhood friends, right?
yeah. It's always against them. Yeah,
Against them, but I don't know. Regardless, knowing that Hina's not gonna get it, it's still cute to see it, to see the relationship and to see this.
yeah. I think
Yes.
what's really good is that we don't have the childhood friend trope here at all. It's more so like
hmm
these are kids that met each other that
Right,
are
right,
now
exactly. So I don't really get that too much of a vibe of childhood friend, but
yeah,
yeah, like just like recent friends kind of thing,
yeah, exactly.
like friends
But
of just yeah, exactly.
hmm and also the when it comes to the sports and stuff that they add into it, kind of like mixes it up too. So it's not always just
hmm
like, oh,
Yeah,
we have
about
to,
romance.
yeah,
Yeah,
about
no, it
romance.
isn't.
So it's
It is also about sports too. And I
yes,
like that there's three. That each of them has a different sport.
yes,
I like
and
that. I like the gymnastics versus the basketball versus the badminton. Very cute.
yeah, and yeah, it's great. Just it also like adds to like their own personalities too, which I like.
Right, right.
So, but yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. On to the next anime, Dragon Ball Daima. Another
Dragon Ball Daima.
three episodes. So,
Right, back to back.
yep. So episode 8, we kicked off right where episode 7 left off, which is Goku about to fight the Tamagami, for the
The
Dragon Ball.
third ball. The third ball, yeah.
Yeah, the third
Third
Dragon
Dragon
Ball.
Ball.
And it
In the
was,
third world. In the third demon world.
yes. I thought that was like really, really good fight. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah, it was amazing.
the
I'm
core.
glad they really, they hype him so much. Like this monsters, right? Like being so tough and and basically impossible, right?
Yep.
But obviously not for Goku, but he still had a realistic hard time. Not a hard time, but like not easy. Like it wasn't a walk in the park.
I mean,
Like
it wasn't a
he
walk in the
he put,
park when he was
he
in
had
base
to.
form. In base form, like before he went Super Saiyan, it wasn't like he had it
Oh
easy.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. You're right. Right. He went
But
Super
the
Saiyan, and it was like boom.
Yep. But it was good. It was good. Like the choreography was good. Like the animation like looked good. Like even the
Hmm.
shots when it was like from afar, they looked
Hmm.
nice, nicely animated. Um, I thought it was cool how the hammer was controllable. Like,
Yes.
and we know like Goku was kind of scared of the hammer before. He's like, oh, that could like crush me.
Right.
Obviously, I at one point I think he was using the his stick, right? And I'm like, damn,
Right.
is it gonna break?
Hmm.
Um, but no, yeah. After he went Super Saiyan, that was a wraps for the fight.
Yeah. Hey, and I really was not a fan of him switching it to the other game, to
Oh
the
yeah, that was kind of cheap. I
yeah, like to the guessing game of the cups.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
one of the things that I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you're kind of being petty because at any point Goku could just kill you, take it by force.
Hmm.
At this point, right?
Hmm.
And I'm just like, that's kind of like not even like a good way to like pass the test. At least like I also was not a big fan of, but I'm like, okay, they're probably gonna have it in like a certain way where it's not gonna be in any cup.
Especially the fact that he kind of cheated.
Yeah,
Glad that Goku caught it and all that, but still, I was like, this is bullshit. But whatever.
yeah, we let it go. Obviously, it wasn't
Hmm.
in any of the cups. It was like floating on somebody's head, and Goku now has
Hmm.
the third Dragon Ball. What a great challenge!
Yeah. And then we see who Gloria is like. But like we see a little bit more of what's happening with Gloria and who he is and who he's working for and what their
Yes,
plan is, right?
yep.
Like
They know that.
it's with that lady, and the plan is to have Goku collect the balls and then take them, right?
Yep.
So.
I think they're gonna use the Dragon Balls for themselves, but they're gonna also have Goku like take care of Goma or whatever, right?
Hmm.
The new ruler before putting themselves in charge. But
Hmm.
there was some cool developments this episode,
Right.
which is that Babidi, the one that was controlling Majin Buu in Dragon Ball Z, he was he actually was not the one
Created.
that he was not the creator of Buu.
Right.
It was this
It
this
was
other
some witch lady
yes.
that this lady finds, right? This lady's just having plans everywhere, like backup plans after backup plans.
Oh,
Like
yep.
like yeah. So she went into this lady to have him create another one, right?
Yeah, and
And
it was cool because I remember like way back in the beginning episodes, like we learned that there was somebody that left Demon Realm prior,
hmm.
and
Right.
and we knew it was the scientist lady, but we didn't know what it was for. I think in this one they clarified that it was because she went
Yeah.
to collect one of the Majin Buu samples when Vegeta blew
Hmm.
himself up. So I thought
Yep.
that was really really interesting.
Yeah, I like how they're connecting dots or they're, yeah, I like that. Or trying to make, trying to connect them, make sense for them together. I like that they're kind of giving a backstory to Majibu, right? To the pink guy,
I mean,
like
kinda. Like I said, like
how
it was he was
he
created.
like comes from the demon world.
Yep.
He's created, and yeah,
I mean, they also made it where like this new Majin Buu that they were gonna create was gonna be more obedient as well. Like that's what they
right,
said because they
right.
didn't want him.
Let's freedom. Yeah, let's free will, whatever.
Yeah, and yeah, obviously like this was the plan all along. Get a Majin Buu, a new Majin Buu to maybe help with their plans. You know.
Collecting the balls. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also in this episode we have what was like Hibis. He was so funny. He was like ignoring Vegeta, right? And
I know, right?
he was like Vegeta's like why you just ignore him? He's like you kind of I kind of don't like your attitude.
Exactly. I was like that. I was like, I just don't like your attitude. And then I like how he likes Bulman
Yeah,
and Bulman's attitude, right?
yeah,
And then and she's like confessing to, or at least like, heading on her.
yeah,
And then he's like, hey, that's my wife.
yeah,
Like, oh, you're with him? Oh, then you need someone else then. I'm
yeah,
here then.
yep,
you must need someone else. Like,
yep.
you can't be like, can't
Uh,
be satisfied with that. He's such a fucking ass. Like,
Hibis is one of the funniest characters
and
they
then
introduced.
oh, yeah,
But
yeah, that was funny.
all right, and then that's I think that's it for episode 8. We can move on to episode 9, and pretty much it's them. It's back to uh Goku and Glory and them. They're traveling. They're basically falling asleep, and
Mhm.
so they decided like finally like
Campsite or like campground.
no, they finally decided to like stop at a hotel, I believe, right? Because Pansy was like,
Oh yeah,
I'm not sleeping outside
yeah.
again.
Nancy was like, I need to shower. Hygiene. She's like, hygiene, guys, hygiene.
And this is when she finds out that Goku barely showers.
So, fucking Goku. Goku's a fucking boy. Goku's a
Yeah,
fucking yeah.
yeah, and of course, like Goku, because of what he did with the Tamagami in the previous episode, now
Oh
everybody
yeah,
knows.
everyone knows
Yeah,
him, right? And since he has the same description of the guy with the stick that those people are looking for too, it's becoming like a chase
yeah, it is.
too. Like,
And like people noticed
um,
because he took off Pansy's hat. He was like, "It's making me itchy,"
mm-hmm,
and obviously the thieves noticed, and they put this whole plot or like this whole like plan
mm-hmm,
where one of them is gonna distract them while the other one gets the Dragon Ball because they're gonna sell that for a pretty penny. And
correct.
but they weren't counting on Pansy being so smart where she put a tracker in the back. So now they knew where exactly they were, and Goku pretty much went up there and took care of them.
Beat them up.
Yep. And
Yep.
and then I like how they were like, okay, well, we can't really stay here, and she's like, no, but we already paid, and it's such a nice place. And Goku's like,
Right.
okay, well, you guys get some sleep. I'll just stay up, guard us all. You know,
Oh, good Goku.
it was good of him, but he was falling asleep himself.
He
So
did end up falling asleep. Yeah.
I mean, he tried his best. He put his eyelids, type like taped his eyelids. Did his little uh training stuff.
Yeah, Trady.
But I think they just made him more tired, so he just ended up falling asleep at some point. They were like, what a great lookout we had.
Yep.
And this is This is when we get another like funny call with the other side, right? With Vegeta and them. They also got their ship stolen, just like Goku and them. And it was
Yep.
the same reason why Goku got theirs stolen, because he Vegeta.
I know, right? Because they just can't keep their mouths shut.
Yeah. Well,
In a way, like
it was more so because Vegeta like beat up some people, but yeah.
yeah, because he's like he was walking and they're like, oh, why are you pushing me away? And
Yeah.
instead of just saying, I'm sorry, excuse me, he's like, you want a piece of me? Let's take it outside.
It's like
And
that's he threw hands before like talking. That's just
yeah,
Vegeta.
and like, yeah, exactly. And Goku in a way too. Well, I guess Goku can surprisingly sometimes try to talk it out before throwing hands.
I mean, Goku was in the middle of eating when they attacked them, so I think Goku had a better reason. Vegeta was just kind of
Hmm.
like, "You're, I don't like your tone, like I'm gonna beat you up real quick."
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
but but yeah, like so their ship is stolen, so now they're waiting for Goku and them to show up so they could give them a ride. And while they're waiting, he was like, "You guys want to play the zombie game?" So it was like there's like a zombies in the forest and whatnot, right? And all you have to do is kill the zombie so you don't become a zombie. And everyone's like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna pass on that real quick."
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah, I and this is one also, like, I think King Goma finally realizes that Goku took it down the Tamagami and that he's in the demon realm.
Oh yeah, yeah, the bad guys.
Yep.
And they're like in that form, like they're like he really regrets not making the other witch first, right? Getting the
Yeah.
third eye.
Yeah. Getting the third eye for the Namek. Yep. Which
So
was kind of like, damn, this third witch must have been really powerful, like, damn. But yeah, like now they're really gonna start riding for Goku later on, and
yeah.
Goku meets
And then the witch is really making that
Yep.
demon too.
Yep.
And they're succeeding too, like seems like
Yes.
they really did get someone.
Yes, they made a Majin Buu with also the Cyberman fusion, which we found out
Hmm.
the Cybermen are from Demon Realm, which means uh the Saiyans at some point visited Demon Realm and got the Cyberman.
Hmm.
So that's like really interesting. Like we were like, I was always like, I never like really questioned where the Cyberman happened, right? But just getting
Hmm.
like a little added extra lore just has a bit more like
Hmm.
uh nice flavor to like Dragon Ball, right? Because it's like, okay, now we have an explanation where they came from, and also kind of like,
Yeah.
it also kind of
And the
adds.
green people too, right?
That's the Cyberman.
The
Yeah, Cyber.
yeah, yeah, that one. That's what you meant. I thought you also meant the tree people too.
No, the Glens.
Yeah, the Glens too. We also get
Yeah,
to see that, and then they're extinct, so that's
they're
kind of
they're going extinct
yeah,
soon. Oh, that's so
yeah.
sad.
And we
Uh,
get an explanation of that too, or at
yeah,
least we get told that.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're getting a lot of Dragon Ball history finally, in a way, you know?
yeah. I mean, finally, like
Yeah,
things we never really questioned.
like
Now,
explanation. Yeah, things that we just kind of took for you know the
oh,
truth.
yeah, we're just kind of like, oh, we added a spaceman. Okay, cool. Oh,
Exactly, exactly. We got a green people. Sounds good.
yeah. Oh, androids now. Let's go. But
Hmm.
no, yeah, I also like wonder though, like, because if the Saiyans ended up coming to Demon Realm, I wonder if like this is where they, because we know like when they go the Great Ape form, they also have the pointy ears, right? So
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering if that form is related to, in some way, to the Demon Realm as well. Like maybe they developed that trait from the Demon Realm.
Right. Right.
It's cool though. I mean, the new Majin Buu is Majin Ku. You know, clever,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
really
Gotta
clever.
switch it up a bit.
Got to switch it up. But really cool. You know, like now we have a different form for every major Dragon Ball Z villain. You know, like Frieza
Mm-hmm.
in
I
Super.
agree.
We have uh Cell in the also Super, and now we have Majin Ku, which is the Majin Buu variant. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
really, really cool. I like his design, and I also like that the first order of business that they give him is, oh, you got to take out a Tamagami.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And um, to track back a bit
And he
to,
seems very sure of himself, right? Like
I mean, he
it's
is,
like no problem.
yeah, I mean, he
Mm,
is Majin Buu in a sense, so like he is gonna feel strong in a way, right? Majin Buu always like never also questioned himself or his strength, so I thought that that's not too bad of a trait, you know. But funny enough, you know, Goku and them can pick up Vegeta when they arrive. They're like, yeah, we're kind of full. Our stuff are in the back, and we kind of need that. And so like they had to leave him behind and wait for like I think they were gonna call the Fancy's dad to like give him a new ship.
yeah, to give him a good new ship, but they get lucky because Vegeta gets all frustrated that he's getting left behind yet again. So the
Yeah,
bad guys that he beat up yesterday are the ones that stole his plane. Just come right him at him, like in a silver platter.
yep,
So he is like, all right, good. Give
yeah,
us our ship and let me beat you up to get my frustration.
yep. And we also see Piccolo like get some action too for a little bit. For like,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was that was a good episode 10.
Yeah, I like how the dude says, like, I only got to eat two chips.
Yep, yep, because he was like, oh, I'm gonna enjoy this with chips. Nope.
Like, yeah, with the snack. I'm
Yeah,
gonna take a snack then.
yep. Oh my god. And then we have the latest episode, episode 10, with starting off Majin Ku versus the Tamagami number one.
Yes, yes, right.
Yeah. Oh,
So he's done. Now he's getting put to the test.
yep.
Like
And it,
they send him to there, and he's like I said, he's so sure of himself. He's like starts the attack, and no, it's declares the challenge, right? He's
yeah,
like, I'm here for the Dragon Ball to challenge you for the Dragon Ball, and he's like, okay, are you sure? He's like, yeah. And they're like, okay, let's go.
yeah, he was sure of himself. I
So
mean, and it seemed like it was a pretty even fight as it was going, you know, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. He did, but it seems like the Magami or no the
Tamagami.
Tegama, yeah, him has more resistance. Like he can like durability, like he can last longer.
Yeah, it almost seems
Like,
like, you know, like, I think because they are created, I think they probably have more uh, reserved key or whatnot, right? Or maybe they don't run out of key as fast. But
mhm.
we instantly see, like, you know, later in the episode that he was kind of holding back a bit because after he takes that initial like beam blast from Majin Ku, he just it's like, okay, I'm year two, like, you know, starts going faster, starts slicing up faster and stuff, and Majin Ku ends up giving up in the end. It's like, yeah, I can't take him. I'm not strong enough.
Yeah, he really gives up too, which I was kind of surprised
Yeah, me
that he
too.
just kind of admits that that he can beat him and to call it a day.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
mean,
I think what's gonna end up happening with him, he's gonna end up going in a training chamber of sorts, or like at least a training
yeah, yeah,
period.
that's what I mean because, like we pointed out, it's not that he was that part off, right? Like he just seemed like he needed a little bit more training, like
Yep.
oh.
Or maybe yeah, maybe just more battle experience because also like
Battle experience. Uh-huh.
the way he was fighting, by the way, like it was so funny to me because I'm like, why? At first off, I was laughing at it, but then
Mm-hmm.
I questioned like, why is his fighting so funny? And then I started seeing him, and I'm like, oh, right, he's moving like somebody that has never fought before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once he has like more fights under him, it's gonna be a different story.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't take away from like uh what Goku did. I think Goku uh will also struggle with this one, hopefully.
Okay.
But back,
Yeah, I definitely think that the third one was not the weakest, but yeah, kinda, like and the
yeah,
first one's gonna be the strongest.
yeah. I mean, I figured like with each world, like they have to progressively get stronger, and Goku needed
Mm-hmm.
Super Saiyan 1 for the first one to overpower him. Maybe the one in the second world will be more even match for them, and then maybe in the last one we'll see we'll have to have Goku and Vegeta fuse again. Just
Right.
uh, but since we're talking about the other people, let's talk about how funny Hybis is because he starts talking to Bulma and he's like, "You should be my girlfriend," you know. And Vegeta was
Right,
like,
Vegeta.
"Yeah," and he's
And
like,
Vegeta's like, excuse me. Like, that's my wife. And he's just like, ew.
and it's like, "Yep,"
He's
and
like, ew, you?
you know,
Why are you with him?
and it's like he just wants to change you back because he likes big boobs.
I love that. I love that. I love that he calls him out.
Yeah, because
I love because she's also happy about her skin.
yeah,
It's like I can definitely get used to being young.
yep, she doesn't want to go back to
Yeah.
being old. She just wants to have pure skin, and it's like, nope. Well, I need you to grow up with me. Like that's why we're going to the Dragon Balls.
Hmm.
A real funny interaction, and then Goku, and Gloria and them, they finally make it to the second world,
Yes.
and this is where we meet the Kraken, like the Kraken of this world. Like they're living in the second demon realm, and they're kind of scary.
Yeah.
They almost get well before they almost get eaten,
Dude,
but
they are. They're humongous. They're like, what the fuck? They're humongous.
yeah, and right before they're about to like get eaten, prior to that, uh, Goku and them get attacked by the police force, right, of the demon realm.
Yes, because now they're being really chased.
Yep, and Goku takes care of them so easily once again. And because in the second demon realm, the air isn't as heavy, like Goku can move a lot better now. So like
Mm-hmm.
he's able to maneuver faster, but yeah, like their ship gets taken by the Kraken and almost Pansy almost gets crushed because
That was them.
yeah,
Yeah, because she went after the Dragon Ball.
yep, because for some reason none of them like thought, oh, let's grab the Dragon Ball. you
Yeah,
know
for some reason, Nancy's
the
the only one
yeah, she was the only
thinking
one.
about it always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, like the Kraken is Kraken. They decide to like visit like the Namek area where Nameks came from, even though they're no longer
Mm-hmm.
there. And I like,
Right. They go to the little small village.
yep. And even them, they're like, damn, Pickle's probably gonna feel very nostalgic here. And
Everybody's asking him that.
yeah,
Oh my god, I know. Goku
Boma,
and then Bulma because then that's where they meet, right? They finally meet.
yep,
Well, no, they finally meet. They've been, but now they're riding along.
yep,
Now that um, and I like how Goku has no shame in his game.
yep,
He after like saying, "No, you guys got a new chip," wait for it. We're gonna keep going ahead.
Yeah, and now they're
Um,
like asking that.
it's now they're asking, like
Yeah.
he really has no shame. And
Mm,
he just wants to warn them because he needs the ship too. Remember
yeah.
when
Yeah, and they
that's
don't know,
funny.
about the Kraken, so he tries to go warn them.
Yeah,
And
just so he can.
interesting enough, though, like Goku, when he sees the Kraken, when he's with them, he's like, "Yeah, we're not good enough to take them on yet." Like,
Yeah, I know, right? He's all like, not yet, Vegeta. We need to train more.
yeah.
Stupid.
So it's kind of like, damn, the Kraken must be really strong then,
Hmm.
or maybe, or hopefully it is, like something. But we do get a small story though of like why the Supreme Kai and his people left.
Yes, we did get even more history, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like about the
About how like the great demon expanded the universe. It created like all these universes
yep
and then sent out those glorios or whatever. What are they called?
lines.
Glions, yeah. To kind of be the overseers, right? Like
Yep,
the
of the universes. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It was an interesting story.
yeah, and there was also like the reason why Supreme Kai left is because I think at that point that demon king whatever was fighting a rebellion, a revolt with the people in there because he was being so cruel and stuff. So he was even worse than Deborah apparently, and Deborah was seen as pretty bad as well. So it's like the demon realm hasn't had like a good king, but yeah, that's the reason why Supreme Kai had to escape because it was no longer safe to be in the demon realm with the revolts and stuff. And this is also when he tells them like yeah, my people are being extinct because the tree where we are born is no longer alive there.
Yeah, right. That's so interesting.
Yeah, and Goku's kind of like, damn, so you guys are like dying out,
Yeah.
So it's interesting getting all that lore and also like getting the lore of the Namekians being like seen as like higher beings in this world too because of the Dragon Balls.
Mhm. Right.
But
And
yeah,
I was kind of sad to hear that they were treated as slaves,
yep,
because of that too. Like,
yep,
like they were enslaved and taken advantage of.
yep. It
And
was. I mean, it adds like a bit
that's
more.
why, and that's why Piccolo's dad had to, migrate and leave.
Ye, yep. And I also like that Piccolo does when they ask him again, like, oh, you're finally home. He's kind of like actually I've never been here, but it does feel a bit nostalgic.
Fucking Dragon Ball.
Yeah. No, but I'm loving the story. I'm loving the expansion that they're doing to their own universe. I think
Yeah.
this is not like the
Yeah, I'm loving the history that we're getting. I do.
yeah. As do I. It's nice to have more Dragon Ball lore, but yeah, I think that'll be it for this video.
Hmm.
Um, you
Yeah.
know, thank you for anybody that watched. If you liked what you hear us talk about, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and until next time, bye.
Yeah. Until next time. Bye bye.